Is guest posting worth your time? Will it increase your website's rankings? And how much traffic is it going to generate? Well, in this video, you're going to discover exactly why, in my humble opinion, guest blogging actually sucks. So you'll discover the reasons why, plus at what point maybe you should consider doing this. So guest blogging is going on blast today, and we'll just jump straight into it. One of the biggest reasons why I hate guest blogging is the fact that you're writing content for other people, okay? Why are you doing that? If you're going to write content, write it for your own website, because that's an investment in the future success of your website. But if you write content for other people, they're just going to take that content, rank it, and then start gaining traffic with it. And that's your valuable time that you've wasted writing content for someone else so that they can profit for it. Now you may say, okay, but I'm getting something in return for this guest blog. Maybe you're getting a link back or some press coverage or maybe some referrals. But the truth is that there are smarter ways to do this, okay? So for example, if you want to get press coverage, you can use Harrow, and you only have to write a few sentences there to get press coverage from potentially a much more authoritative website. Or, if you want to link back, just write the content on your website and then build links back to it, okay? You do not need to spend hours writing content for someone else to get links to your site. And that's the thing that really bugs me about guest blogging, is the fact that you're putting so much time and effort into a piece of content that's not even going on your own site. It's going on someone else's, and they're going to reap the benefit of it. Now here's the other problem, right? You spend all that time carefully crafting a piece of content to post on someone else's website, and then there's no actual guarantee that they're going to post your blog. In fact, so they might look at it, they might edit certain parts, they might remove some of the best parts of it, and you have no control over the editorial process because, you're posting content on someone else's website, so therefore it doesn't belong to you and you don't have editorial rights. And that's a problem, because not only are you putting your name on this piece of content, but they have the right to make any changes under your name, which means that if you post a blog and they change it to make it not very good, then it's still going to be posted under your name. It's still going to represent your brand, and it's still going to make you look bad, even though you wrote it perfectly first time round and they edited it so it looks really bad. So that's something you have to be very careful about, okay? Now, not only that, but it can take absolutely ages for your content to be posted as a guest blog, okay? So it could be weeks, but most likely it could be months, especially if it's an authoritative website that has a lot of editorial content to be posted, and therefore it's got a long waiting list for your content and other people's content to be posted to their site. And then when you ask them, when's it going to be posted, they might just say, how long's a piece of string, okay? There's no set date of when your content can be posted. In fact, I've had some webmasters who promised to post a guest blog 1 week, they didn't post it the week after that or the week after that, and a few months down the line, they still hadn't posted it, and I've just been sort of sitting around waiting for this to be live. And the biggest problem is that if you're doing this for clients, or if you're doing this for other people, they're relying on you, and they're putting pressure on you to post the content, even though it's totally out of your control, and you're just waiting for the webmaster to finally be ready to get it live. So if you value your precious time and you're not going to get it back, why invest that into guest blogging when you have no guarantee that the content will be posted, and you have no guarantee of the date it will be posted either? Now, if you're doing guest blogging for link building and you know the benefits that link building has for your website, then here's another big problem that you're going to stumble into when it comes to link building, and that's the fact that quite often the webmaster will remove your link, or they'll make it no follow, okay? And what that means basically is that either you get no link back to your site for all the hours you spent creating this content, but also the fact that you may not get any sort of authority or link juice from the link that you get from that blog, okay? So if they put a no follow code on that link, it's pretty much useless, okay? There might be a tiny little bit of link juice you get from it, but actually in reality, it's not going to do much for your website, and it's not really going to benefit your rankings. So that's a big problem as well, is the fact that, webmasters can remove your link at any time. There's no guarantee they're going to add a link. If they do add a link, it's probably not going to be to your money page. And if they're linking to you, then chances are they're probably linking to casino pages as well. And that's the harsh reality of guest blogging, okay? There's no guarantee you'll get a link. If you do get a link, chances are it's going to be do follow, and that is savage, because you've been waiting so long for that piece of content to be posted, and when it does finally arrive, it's not do follow. Now here's another really brutal thing about guest blogging, and that's the fact that not only are you suggesting topics for the guest blog, you're writing the content yourself, you're spending hours managing the whole process, and then you're also kind of sucking up to the webmasters to make sure they add the link, but also the fact that quite often they're going to ask you to pay for a guest blog, okay? So if this is an authoritative website with a high domain rating, chances are they're going to ask for money to get a guest blog from you, and that is really taking the piss, because you're spending all your time and you're doing all the hard work yourself, but they're going to reap the benefits of that content, and also they're going to make some money from it too. So it's a really smart business idea from them, but for you, it kind of sucks. And as we'll come on to later, you're going to discover that there are much better ways to build links to your site that don't require all this hard work and all this time and all this worrying that comes with guest blogging. But what's the alternative, right? Because if guest blogging really sucks, you want to focus on solutions, not problems. So are there more scalable ways to build links? And I would say there definitely are, okay? So for example, with the skyscraper technique, if you've never heard of this, this is basically where you look at your competitors, you see how they're getting the links, you create a better piece of content than them that's getting a lot of links, and then you contact everyone who linked to your competitor and say, hey, do you want to link to this piece of content too? And this is a much smarter way to get links to your site because it's far more scalable, okay? Instead of writing 100 guest blogs, which would take literally hundreds of hours and a lot of organizing, plus you'd be waiting around for pretty much forever before most of those guest blogs get posted. With the skyscraper technique, you just create one piece of content and then you can build hundreds of links to that piece of content. So it's far less complicated, it takes less time, it's far more scalable, and it's a much smarter way to build links to your site. Now don't get me wrong, the skyscraper technique is far from perfect too, and if you've seen my other video, there are plenty of other disadvantages to the skyscraper technique that most people don't talk about. But at the same time, if you want a scalable number of links to your website that don't require much time, then this is the way to do it. The other alternative that you can use is Harrow, and this is an awesome way to get high quality authoritative links to your site with very little time involved. So these are two link building alternatives to guest blogging that I would definitely recommend. And if you are going to use guest blogging, only use it as a backup offer to the webmasters who won't link to your skyscraper content in the first place, okay? So if you send an outreach email and it's promoting a piece of skyscraper content, maybe the webmaster comes back and they say, actually, I don't want to link to that, but you can write a guest blog instead. That's the moment to do guest blogging. Don't do it as a first offer because you're only going to waste your time and it's not very efficient in the long term. So thanks for watching, and now you know that guest blogging 90% of the time just isn't worth it, okay? So you might have to pay for the guest blog, it takes a lot of time to write, there's a lot of effort involved, there's no guarantees that your content's going to be posted, and there's just all these other things that you're going to have to worry about when it comes to guest blogging, and that's why it's just not worth it, especially when there's so many good alternatives out there for link building and getting coverage to your site. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions about link building, please let me know in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss another video from me.